Messerli, founder and CEO of Cultural Outreach, and today I'm interviewing Dave Savage, who is a huge tech leader in our industry. He's the founder and CEO of Mortgage Coach. So Dave, thank you so much for being on the call.
Thanks for having me on the call. Looking forward to the conversation.
Great. So my first question for you, you recently wrote a post on LinkedIn about tech disruption and how the mortgage industry is really at risk for a significant disruption. Can you describe what you mean by disruption and why you think lenders are unprepared?
Yeah, well, disruption is such a big word. It's such an overused word. But I think, disruption is when things have just radically changed. And, great examples of that are Uber. I mean, if you're a taxi driver or you own a taxi company, your job is, in your future has radically changed. If you are a travel agent or you were a travel agent, it's different. I mean, you might be gone unless you have a very specific niche or you help big corporations or you specialize in events. So disruption is just a radical shift. And in the mortgage industry, I think it's already changed. I mean, the consumer's already changed. Zillow is evidence of that. The fact that they're a tech company. They put MLS data online so that families can search for homes. And the fact that Zillow's valuation is bigger than any real estate company's valuation, it's changed. And so, lenders are they're not executing well on technology for the most part. They're investing in technology, but, the loan officers aren't using it aside from the LOS. The industry's adopted LOS now. But in terms of how they use their mobile phones strategically to save time, deliver better experience, most of them aren't doing it. So those are some thoughts, and those are some examples.
So what do you think are some of the areas that are really ripe for disruption in our industry?
So before I get into the tech, I think, let's forget about technology. Although it's technology, let's talk about training. Technology and what most loan officers have at their disposal is already beyond what they're using. They have things that they aren't using. Like they could create videos on their mobile phones. They can do more than just talk on the phone and text. In the mortgage coach community, we deliver this mobile experience. They could pull out their mobile phone and use it for storytelling and educational strategies on mortgages. So, first, let's just say there's a lot that they could do with just better training. I do think LMS, the term learning management system, when I ask mortgage executives, what's your LMS? They need to know what their LMS is. They need to know what their strategy is, and they need to implement it really well. So, I'll just start there. And then I think it's super important that technologies integrate with each other. We want to deliver the family this great digital experience. Everybody's chasing the rocket, and that means I can apply on a mobile phone, push a button, and get a mortgage. But let's face it, the consumer wants more than that. They want to get alerts with milestones. They want to really Uberize the mortgage. And then let's face it, leaders of mortgage companies, you need to give your loan officers and your processors and your team that same unified system. So I think the biggest opportunities are, picking partners like Mortgage Coach, where they have these awesome APIs that are easy to implement so that consumer gets a great experience, users get a great experience. But to me, the best lender of the future is the one that makes good technology decisions, integrates them incredibly well, and then is exceptional at training their organization to use that platform the way it was designed to be used.
Absolutely.
Those are some thoughts.
Okay, those are great thoughts. Yeah, I think a lot of times we think about technology and making sure we're choosing the right tech, but you don't think about how to train your loan officers to use that tech in the best way possible. So I'm glad you brought that up. So my last question for you is, you and I you've been one of the advisors on the survey that we've been putting out to the industry on identifying what kind of technology top lenders are using and kind of giving advice in that area. So can you explain why it's important for lenders to think about the technology that they're using?
Yeah. Well, I think, first of all, if you don't have a big strategy, like what are you going to do for a year? What are you going to do in 2 years, 3 years, 5 years? And maybe even a vision for 10 years, you're not probably going to make great decisions. And let's face it, you can't do it all. You can't do it all now. So I think it's important that, just like I said, lenders need to get, use this term like, hey, when I say, what's your LMS, they know what that means. What's your tech stack? That's a term which, by the way, it's amazing how many mortgage executives know that term and use that term. Even just last year, because I moderate a lot of panels, I meet with a lot of C-suite, and I'm not bringing it up; they're bringing it up. So the industry's, they're clued into, we need to have a tech stack, we need to have a roadmap for our tech stack, and then it's LOS, they all know that. It's pricing engine, they all know that, but it's things like presentation engine, business intelligence, CRM. And now we're having new things. The digital mortgage experience has created, the apply feature, a mobile app. So the tech stack is expanding. But, those are some thoughts on that.
Definitely. Well, that's great. Thank you so much for providing such great leadership in our industry and insights on this interview. I appreciate you taking the time.
Hey, Kristin, you are an amazing industry leader, and we appreciate it. Thank you for all that you do.